Okay, so at the close of 2023, I've been thinking a lot about this YouTube channel and how I've changed because of making videos about Hawaii. I've been doing it for almost 5 years now. And over that time, I've noticed that I've changed, and the changes that I've gone through, the three changes that I want to share in this video, they're interestingly tied to the audiences who have found this YouTube channel. So I'm gonna try to do this in one take. We'll see how that goes. My kids are asleep. Wife went out shopping. It's New Year's Eve weekend, and I'm here, so I just thought I'd turn on the camera and share this. The three audiences that I do have that I've found over time are people who are interested in moving to Hawaii, people who are currently living in Hawaii, locals, and locals who have moved away. And so the three changes that I've seen in myself, I do want to, they're sort of tied to those three audiences, and so I thought that'd be kind of interesting to kind of go over and share. So the first way that I've seen myself change is I've really had to define what living with aloha means, what the aloha spirit means for me. I know it's codified in Hawaii revised statutes, and in general, I think local people, we talk about aloha, right? It's this almost buzzword that we try to live our life by. But I don't know how many people actually take the time to think about what that means, aloha, and how they show it, demonstrate aloha in very practical, everyday ways. And by making YouTube videos and having that audience of people who are thinking about moving to Hawaii, I've had to really think about what that means. It's no secret that my opinion on people thinking of moving to Hawaii, it's no secret that my opinion on that is welcome. I know that on social media, online, if you read a lot of the comments, it's not always like that. In fact, I think if you were to look at the majority of social media or online content related to coming to Hawaii, unless you're a realtor, really most of that content is probably stay away, right? And if you're someone who is thinking about moving to Hawaii, that's probably the sentiment that you've encountered when you've gone online. And I hope that what my content has done, because I'm thinking about what it means to live with aloha, I hope that there's some balance, that you see that, okay, not everyone may think that way. When it comes to defining aloha in my own life, I think there's a line in that definition, and I think dividing, that line divides two trains of thought: whether aloha is unconditional or whether it's conditional, and very thin line, but I think very distinct. For me, it's unconditional, and it's not always easy. It's not always easy to show others aloha, because it takes a lot of grace and forgiveness and friendliness and kindness, especially when they may not deserve it. But I think none of us really deserve it. We're not perfect. Look at the roads, right? You drive around, just let them cut in, because there's probably times where you cut people off or you made bad decisions on the road. But for me, I fall into that, unconditional aloha, where you just show it just because, even if they don't reciprocate, even if they don't thank you, you just show it, you just show it anyway. And that's what I try to show to that particular audience. And I've had to really define what that means for me. Like, maybe before I didn't really think about it, I didn't really care because I'm just from Hawaii, right? But as I've gotten older, and especially as I have this YouTube channel, I feel like I need to figure out what that really means to me. I don't want to be one of those locals who speaks a lot about aloha, big talk, right, with aloha, but maybe in their personal life, they're not really showing all that much, right? Like, you wear the shirts, you wear you get the sticker on the back of your car, you throw, shaka every now and then, but when it comes down to it, it's really not maybe demonstrated as much. And I don't want to live my life that way. If I'm going to say it and I really do believe it, then it should be demonstrated as best as I can. Again, I'm not perfect, but I've always been under the impression that aloha is for everyone, and it's unconditional kindness and love and respect, even if they don't show that back. So for me, I really had to change in that regard. And without going too long, the second way that probably talk more about that, but the second way I've seen myself change is I've really had to, in making these videos, I've really had to pay attention to what's going on here in Hawaii. And that audience, I think, who cares are local people who live here. So me changing by paying attention more to what's going on in Hawaii, I tie that with that audience that is locally here. And when I was growing up, and even when I went away for school, I didn't care about Hawaii. I didn't care what was going on. I mean, I cared that I'm from Hawaii, for sure, but I didn't pay attention to what was going on. I cared more about, I cared about my schoolwork. I cared about, TV, shopping, food, girls, like basically everything besides what was actually going on in this state. And because I'm now making these videos about Hawaii, it's not just old time stuff, like I love talking about old time stuff, like how Hawaii used to be and I miss it so much, the good old days and all that. I love that. But I've really had to pay attention to how Hawaii is today. What is going on? Because while it would be great that I could know all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, or I knew batting averages and all that, really that's not that important compared to who's your representatives, who are your politicians, what are the policies that are coming up, and how is that going to affect our lives? And that's the personal choice for me. I think I'm just getting old. That's why I'm just getting older, right? And I don't have as much time for those other things, and I don't place as much value in those other things because I'm here now. And again, making videos about Hawaii, I feel like I need to stay up to date on what's going on, and I'm also curious and interested in what's going on now. It's not just setting up my life right here, but also I'm thinking about my kids' life, right? The things that we decide today, they're going to have impact on the future, and that's going to be my kids. Whether they're going to be living in Hawaii or not, that's still going to be, for them. So I'm trying to really pay attention to that and be very mindful. I'm always surprised when local people, speaking of this audience, I'm also surprised when local people will come up to me or my wife or both and like just say hi and talk story, and it's very, very flattering, to meet people and to talk. And I know sometimes in passing, we're busy, we got 2 young kids, so, and I know it's hard, but I really appreciate it. And even for the people who don't say hi, I still appreciate, the fact that they're watching the videos, they support the channel, and they're interested in the things that interest me, that I think would interest those people. And learning about Hawaii, keeping up to date, it's not always fun or interesting, but it's important. And I'm trying to make sure that I keep track of those things because, I'm not that old, but I bet you if you ask some of these guys who are in their 60s and 70s, they remember how Hawaii used to be. And I think if you look back at some of the problems that they remember when they were younger, it's the same stuff we're talking about today. I had to do this project once where they were kind of talking about the issues of Hawaii per decade, basically from statehood all the way up to the 2000s. And so I was reading through all these old articles, and it's amazing that the problems that we had back in the 50s, 60s are the same ones that we're facing today. I mean, it seriously is amazing, right? You got affordable housing, you got cost of living, you got economy diversification, you got environmental issues, you got Native Hawaiian rights, all these issues and more, tourism, all that. All these issues and more, we've been battling and trying to figure out how to solve them for so long. And yet we can't figure it out. And granted, we have so many more, use of technology and better thinking and perspective and history on our side, but yet for some reason we can't figure out how to solve these problems. And maybe that's just part of the human condition and just some of the things that people struggle with, that you can't fix those things. But it's interesting how the problems over time don't change. And I hope that by at least remembering now what's going on now, when I become kapuna, hopefully, you know, long time from now, like in my 60s or 70s, I'll be able to remember all the stuff that we were talking about right now. When it comes to rail, when it comes to cost of living, affordable housing, I'm going to be able to remember and say, oh yeah, I remember we tried that one time. Didn't really turn out so well, but maybe this time we can try it differently. But I think just having that history and perspective is very important. And so I think about that audience, the local people here now, who are living here now. And that's how much I've changed because of this YouTube channel and the types of things that I talk about. And the third way that I've changed is, you know, through the comments from people who have moved away, locals who have moved away. It makes me very thankful that I'm still here, but also at the same time very mindful that the possibility of us leaving Hawaii is very real. I'm fortunate that I have family here still, and I think we're gonna be okay, but I know there's a lot of people that are not gonna be okay, and every year we lose more and more local people. When I read those comments and I hear people's stories about how they had to leave, it's a good reminder. I've had family members who have had to leave too, you know, and it's not easy. I left to go to the mainland, but I left because I wanted to go. I left because I wanted to go college. I left because I wanted to go and work. I stayed up there, Colorado, Oregon, Colorado again, California. Right? I went up there because I wanted to be there. And then I came back home and now I have my life here. But for some people, for some families, it's not a choice. It's not a positive choice. It's more like that's all they got left. And I'm mindful of that audience. And I'm mindful that that audience is growing, right? I mean, we've seen 15,000 people left the state last year. Probably gonna be about the same this year. And I don't know if that number is ever gonna go significantly down, but I'm mindful of those locals, those aunties, uncles, cousins, of other people, not just my own, but of other people that are also leaving. People who have already left, who have established, you know, wonderful lives away from Hawaii, but maybe they just want to be reminded of Hawaii, you know, and what they see online predominantly is not necessarily a reflection on Hawaii. If you know you see you know, travel stuff, or you see influencer lifestyle stuff, you know, if you're from here, you know that's not how it really is, right? and so I hope that what I talk about, I hope that where I go and try to film is more relatable. You know, I'm sure there's people out there that they just want to see the bus, you know, that would remind them of home, and they'd have all these wonderful memories and emotions just hiding with seeing the bus. I mean, I can see the bus right here, you know, two of them actually. And so I'm very mindful of that audience, but that's changed me. Like thinking about that, making videos and hearing those people's stories, you know, it's a reminder that I'm thankful to be here. You know, the sacrifices of my family, as well as sacrifices of this family, of myself and my wife and where we're at. You know, I try not to take it for granted. You know, growing up in Hawaii, you just assume, right? You just walk outside, it's like, oh wow, so beautiful, right? Every morning I could walk outside when I was growing up, and Ko'ola Mountain's right there. And you just take it for granted. You know, it's natural. But I'm trying not to take it for granted, because I know that for a lot of people, this is not going to be their home for a long time. You know, it's counting down. And for us, it's not counting down, but there's always that possibility. You know, if things get too tough or it gets, you know, too expensive, then sure, you know, something that we can consider. I made a video about that where I would move if I could move anywhere. But again, I'm very mindful of that, and at the same time, very, very thankful, you know, to still be here in Hawaii. So, okay, keeping in mind of the time, just to kind of close, I recognize that I've changed a lot because of making videos in Hawaii, and I'm very thankful for the audiences, plural, that have found me. It's kind of a weird split, but I'm very proud of that, and I'm glad that people have found me, have found the content interesting and helpful, and hopefully encouraging at times when things are hard in Hawaii, when they may be separated from Hawaii and they just want to hear somebody that sounds like they're from Hawaii. or they want to see someone who looks like they're from Hawaii. Because I know not everywhere has people from Hawaii. Sure, if you go to Vegas, Henderson, sure, you walk around, yeah, you probably see uncles and aunties everywhere. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, if you're in an isolated small town, or you move further to the east, it's kind of hard to see someone, to hear pidgin, to be reminded of home by things that you see. So, I'm really thankful for those audiences who have found me. Whenever I do meet people, sometimes we're talking story, and they will often ask, or they'll sometimes ask, how do you come up with all these ideas? Do you run out of ideas, or all that? And I usually say that I have an endless number of ideas for this channel. It's not limited by I guess there aren't too many limits for me, because when I think about Hawaii, I'm very passionate and excited about it. I love this place. This is where I'm from. This is where will always be my home. If I live here, if I go away, when I went to Colorado, I'm always from Hawaii. I'm so proud of that fact. And there's so many people out there who are also proud of that fact. It's just a matter of time. I wish I had more time to make more of these videos, but I got family and job and all that. But in terms of the ideas, what I want to talk about, it's like endless. I got a list of Hawaii related topics that I think those three audiences in particular will love. And I'm excited. I'm probably, I think I made about, I don't know how many videos I made, one a week-ish, so it's about 50 videos. That's about the max I can probably make in a year, but I'm trying to make more, but kind of hard. But yeah, I'm excited for what's ahead, for 2024. It's hard for me to predict where the YouTube channel will go, what kind of content I will make. I've had ideas, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's okay. But the things that I want to talk about when it comes to Hawaii, I'm excited about, and I hope that people can feel that. I hope that they can see it. I hope that they can see that I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think about it, and I'm not always right. In fact, I like it when I'm not always right, and people may disagree. And when they present their reasoning as to why they don't agree, it helps me because it broadens my perspective. I may not agree with them all the time, I'm just saying. But, as best as we can, where I make a video and people comment back, and it kind of gets messy being back and forth through text, but it does help me a lot, because as diverse as my audience is, I know that there's a lot of wisdom and experience there, and I would never want to close off any other opinions or experiences that people have really felt or gone through. Don't always agree, just like people don't always agree with me, but I think we can respectfully hear each other. And at the very least, we both love Hawaii. We both care about Hawaii enough, to think about it, and also to talk about it and to share. And so I'm looking forward to what's ahead for this YouTube channel. And, just want to say thank you so much. 2024 is here. I'm looking forward to all of the free fireworks, by the way. Thank you guys out there. I don't know if I should be thanking you, but it's going to be fun, right? We're going to be watching, no worries. We appreciate it, but, still got to do something about that law. Anyway, have a happy new year. Hope you and your family are safe. And thank you so much again for checking us out, checking my videos, supporting us, and always saying hi. And yeah, so again, thanks for watching, and aloha.
Hello.